Today, everything seems to be owned by a few media conglomerates. And while they make entertainment I enjoy, I miss the days when a film studio would just take a risk on its own. Way back in 1982, and before what seems like 6 conglomerates own everything, Tron was one of those films that, in my opinion, was a risk. In this video, we're going to look back and revisit a film that not only took a risk, but changed the way movies were made. Tron is special, really on multiple levels. First, as a piece of nostalgia from my youth, this movie holds a dear place in my heart. I saw it with my father, then I would spend hours playing the incredible arcade game. And then with my neighborhood pals, we would pretend our bikes were light cycles and our frisbees identification discs. Tron was conceived by Steven Lisberger, an artist and video game lover, as far back as 1978. Lisberger might be known to you Gen Xers if you watch the animated film Animal Olympics. And for me, I wore that movie out when I was a kid. I loved it. Lisberger was the creator of that, and sadly, it did not perform as well as people had hoped or expected. And the funding that Lisberger was trying to raise for Tron fell through, and it sort of delayed the development and release of the film Tron. Lisberger created Tron with Bonnie McBird, and eventually Disney got wind of the project. At the time, they were interested in making more daring movies, perhaps to bring in an older audience. Tom Willett, Disney's vice president for creative development, watched Lisberger's test footage and convinced Ron Miller to give the movie a chance. William Calley, he wrote a book called The Making of Tron. He said in an interview, Tron should be remembered as a very daring, risky adventure on the part of a few young visionaries and artists. They believed that by using computers for animation and visual effects, they could change movie making. But what about the movie? Is it any good? The story itself is pretty captivating to any audience that would spend time in an arcade or at home on their Atari 2600. In the story, Kevin Flynn is screwed over by his former employer because 3 years before the movie starts, Flynn is hired as Incom's new software engineer. And unfortunately, a fella named Dillinger takes credit for 5 of the video game program designs that Flynn comes up with. And Dillinger, by doing that, rises to the top and becomes the company's senior executive. To help Flynn find evidence of Dillinger's plagiarism somewhere inside the system's programming, Alan and Laura, Flynn's friends, and also employees at Incom, help him break into Incom's headquarters. Here, Flynn gets zapped into the game world where he plays the games he created. What a delightful concept. The design of the film is stellar, the games are exciting, but I really like this story. I do. I've read several critical essays that the story was not good, but I think for me, and where I was at in my life when I saw it, I was all in. It was compelling, and for a generation to consider what it would be like to be inside a video game world, it was a unique fantasy that has been done, frankly, many times since then. Jeff Bridges is charismatic, and his reaction to each game situation that he finds himself in is totally believable. And it's his performance that's the key to the movie. He needs to help us to believe it. And coupled with the special effects, it is Bridges' performance, in my opinion, that draws us in. The stakes are established early when Flynn defeats Crom and Crom is de-rezzed. Of course, Tron, Ram, and Flynn in the light cycle sequence is stellar. Even today, it's oddly captivating. Even if we were to have the newer light cycle sequence from Tron Legacy, that original 1982, it still, in some ways, holds up. The speed of the sequence is really shocking that it was made in 1982. The design concepts are also memorable. The tank, recognizer, light cycle, solar cell, Stark's carrier, all of the designs are etched in my memory from 1982. I can't tell you how many moments in school I spent drawing what I saw on the big screen. That is a real testament to the power of the film. Tron pushed so many boundaries. John Lasseter of Pixar said that Toy Story would not have happened if it were not for Tron. It was a film that was pop culturally relevant. And I'm sure if you're a certain age, you have fond memories playing the arcade game or the handheld game. Hey, in a world of algorithms and stats, it is a bit fun to remember a time when storytelling and filmmaking was in a place where there weren't sure bets because of what the numbers were telling you. Tron was a risk. Nothing like it had been made. And as a result, the movie caused a ripple effect and helped usher in a new age of storytelling on the screen. But it's also so much fun. And if it's been a while since you've seen 1982's Tron, give it a shot again. And don't forget to leave a comment letting me know what you think of 1982's Tron. Thanks for watching.